Just sitting here with my morning cup of coffee. Thinking about I'm about to turn 62 in a couple months. And what I'm going to do as far as, like Social Security that I paid into all these years, even as a self-employed guy, I paid self-employment taxes. So I'm well vested in Social Security. But if I take it at 62, obviously I'm not going to get nearly a full benefit. And the other thing is, the government doesn't allow you to work on the side. They only allow you to make a little bit extra money, but not much. And, if they'd let you make anything you wanted, I might take it at 62, especially knowing the fact that, the government's saying by the year 2032 that Social Security is going to basically run out of money. People will supposedly still get their benefits, but something between 70 and 78% of your actual benefit. So that scares the hell out of me. That makes me not want to wait, because, they tell you could get 70%. I don't really trust anything the government says. When 2032 rolls around, they might tell you you're lucky to get 50% of your benefits. I mean, who the hell really knows, right? And that's really because, like in the 1960s, there was, I think, like 5 workers for every retiree. Now, because of falling birth rates, because of the job situation, and now, of course, with the AI market and everything else, they say there's like 2.7 workers for every retiree. So the system can't keep paying for itself and other people. And they say by 2032, there'll only be about 2 workers for every retiree. So that's not looking good. And I don't think that does take AI into question. AI could make it much less than that. You might see 1 worker for every retiree. Who knows, right? So, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I mean, Congress says they're going to make some kind of a move before 2032 to make sure people can still get their full benefits. But again, I don't believe a goddamn thing these guys say. I don't believe anything Congress says. They're set for life. You do 1 term in Congress or Senate and you get full medical benefits for the rest of your life. You get the full retirement benefits. Are you kidding me? You can work 4 or 6 years or whatever it is, and you get full retirement benefits off the teat of the American taxpayer. So these guys are banking it. They got it made. It's the rest of us that are screwed. So, I thought, well, at 67, which is basically 5 years from now, I could apply and then get a majority of my benefit. You don't get your full benefit until 70. That's when it maxes out. But you can take it anytime before then. But at 67, you can make as much money as you want on the side, and it doesn't affect your benefit. That's my understanding. You still get taxed the same way. There's income tax, all that stuff. So I thought about that. But I mean, 5 years from now, we're getting close to the, right? Wouldn't that be 2031? I mean, so I'm on the verge of, hey, you might only get half of your benefit, if any at all, depending on what happens by then, right? So it's really a crapshoot. And then, you hear Trump and them talking about how the big, beautiful bill helped Social Security, helped people on Social Security to not be taxed. Part of that is true. They changed a little way, some of the ways how they did the taxes, but you're still getting taxed. It's not no taxes on Social Security. That's a lie, okay? You're still taxed. And you shouldn't be. You really shouldn't be, because think about it. If you've paid into Social Security all these years, that money's been taxed off your payroll for years and years and years. So the government's taxing it twice. I mean, that's really essentially what happens. I get it. If you're making side income and you're retired, you should pay income tax like anybody else. But Social Security shouldn't be taxed at all. Period. You paid in. You already got taxed to death on it. And now we have to worry about even getting our full benefits. 2032 is right around the corner. I mean, what's going to happen? Especially think of the people that are already on Social Security. that have been living off their full benefit or whatever part of that benefit is, and then suddenly 2032 rolls around and they're told, hey, we're going to cut your check by 20, 30, or even 40%. I mean, why did we pay in all these years? It disgusts me. And the government doesn't give a shit about us. Only when it's re-election time, which is all year long for these guys. That's why they really don't get anything important done. Because they're too busy going around trying to get re-elected. It's really sad because Social Security was a great idea and it helped so many senior citizens for so many decades. But now it's going away. We're losing it. Even if you still get part of your benefits, that's not Social Security anymore because now you've lost part of it. So that promise, they never kept that promise. That's going away. And they never adjusted enough anyway for inflation. Look at the inflation that's been happening ever since 2020. And, from what they've done as far as Social Security, they haven't even kept up with inflation at all. Not even close. I don't know how anybody even makes it on Social Security at all. And probably most people don't. And that's why, truthfully, at 62, they should just let you make as much as you want on the side, take your smaller benefit, and leave it at that, because you're still paying taxes, income taxes, on the money you're making if you're working part-time or whatever. It just makes it harder for people to survive. And I really do think, deep down, that's how this government and all governments tend to work. They want to keep people down. They want you to be reliant on the government. They want you to be reliant on services so that they can keep power and stay in office. It just doesn't make any sense that they would let Social Security just fall to shit. But they've done it. They have allowed it to happen. And something's got to be done before 2032 to make sure that not even 1% of your benefits goes away. Because it's not right. Because the government owes you that money. You paid that money in. I paid that money in all these years. Anyway, really, now that I'm a senior citizen, oh my God, I am. I'm really scared about what's going to happen. Because I've worked my whole life. I've paid into the system my whole life. I've held many jobs before I was an entrepreneur. Then I became self-employed and have struggled all these years, never made it big. But I was always thinking that, at least once when I'm a senior citizen, even if I have to work part-time somewhere or still have my business, which I hope to, that I'll get that Social Security that I paid into. But now I see that's most likely not the case. And so I can only imagine a young person thinking about Social Security and retirement age. They're not going to have shit by the time, 30, 40 years from now. I mean, you can't blame them for thinking the American dream is gone, because I got to tell you, ever since 2020, it feels like the American dream is gone. Yeah, they show you people on TV. Some people still make it and whatnot. And you could be an influencer, and make a lot of money on YouTube or whatever. That's few and far between. That's a 1 in 1,000 shot. You could win the lottery, which they even screwed that up now because they expanded Powerball from the United States to the UK, which makes absolutely no sense, except that they want money. It's just a big game. And we're just pawns in that game. That's all we are. They don't give a shit about us. In fact, they probably sit in their meetings and they quietly laugh about us, the little people out there that keep them in office. Well, I'll tell you, if they let Social Security go to shit, that's going to cause major economic trauma. And people are going to freak out. And I don't know why, they warn you, but I don't hear people talking about it because maybe they don't believe it's really going to happen. But it's going to happen in some form. Whether it's just reducing your benefits or cutting your benefits out completely, who the hell knows? The deficit is so huge, we could go bankrupt by then. Seriously. Especially if they keep getting us into war after war after war, and we keep giving money away to all these other countries. What the hell are we doing? They could fix Social Security overnight by putting trillions back into it, because I'm sure they stole trillions out of it to begin with over all these years. Anyway, it's tougher than ever, I guess, to be a senior citizen in America. Unless you're wealthy, you're never really going to be able to retire comfortably, you know? And I don't want to, but I just want security. I want to be comfortable, even if I have to work. But I want to be allowed to work, you know? And you should be allowed to work at 62 years old and take your partial benefit without being penalized. But that's not how it is. Anyway, sorry to give the gloom and doom about Social Security, but it doesn't look good to me as a senior citizen. And we need to figure out how to fix it.